Buddy, what's the vibe?
You guys nailed it right on the head. Yesterday down here, it was just full of nerves. None of these players had ever played in a Battlegrounds LAN environment yet, because this is in fact the first. But this time around, they've gotten 1 day under their legs, so they have a little more sense of what's going on. However, that doesn't mean that nerves are completely shot, because yesterday was solos, today is third-person duos. And it's a completely different game. A lot of people may be a little disappointed with their outcome yesterday. They're coming back in with the drive to win and take home the W on this one. And we do have another player interview real quick at the start, and it's gonna be with Noble's Edaculus. Let me just walk over here and interrupt him, pick him up from his game. Hello. Hi, welcome. For all of you at home, this is Edaculus from Team Noble. Not known to a lot of people. Do you want to give the audience at home a little bit of background on you and your team?
Oh, well, actually, I met Boom back in 2012, National Selection 2. We played top of the world players. Vet player, CS 1.6. I mean, FPS games throughout the past. And I just met these guys actually through Boom. Taro and Daz, been knowing them a couple months. Great group of guys. We get along. We got good chemistry. I mean, a lot of teams get broken up here and there, but I mean, we've had our faults. We've yelled, screamed, argued, but I mean, great teams are forged through hellfire, right?
Yeah, and you guys have actually been part of a Battlegrounds League, PUBG Online, since the very beginning, that league's iteration, more or less. How do you think that experience has helped you grow as a team?
Well, being the first, being one. Actually, we were the first squad announced. I mean, it was early on. We really didn't know that there was going to be a huge esports scene, and it ended up happening. And well, I mean, as a team, we didn't know how far exactly it was going to take us, but we're here.
So I could be wrong on the exact numbers, but you're currently placed number 7 in the league, PUBG Online. Yeah, thereabouts. TSM and Team Liquid both joined a couple of weeks ago, and they're a little lower down on the standings, partly because they joined a little late and they didn't have as many weeks as you did for this current season to gather up points. However, also looking at your team, one thing that stood out to us and the other commentators was that you had incredibly high rankings on the NA server. And yet, you and none of your team didn't really make that big of a name for yourselves in the solo games that we saw yesterday. Do you think are you going to take today as a day to essentially try and make up that what could be a little bit of a disappointing outcome?
Most definitely. I mean, duos and squads, that's where we shine. Solos, I mean, I'm not going to complain about any problems or anything. It's just, to us, that's not our strong point. Even if everything was just pristine, I honestly don't think. I mean, Liquid killed it. Those guys, they bested us. They really did. Great group of guys. But squads and duos, it's a new story.
Do you think you have more confidence in your squad play or your duo play? If there is any disparity, of course.
Squads, for sure. Definitely.
What is for audiences at home who are new to this game, new to watching this game, what's the major difference between squads and duos?
Major difference? Well, I mean, you got to think about it. Squads, they got 4-man teams. Duos, you got twice as many teams out on the field. I mean, that means people are trying to avoid as much confrontation as possible, and every compound is usually taken. That's kind of the rule of thumb. You got to play the circles a little differently. You got to be a little bit more conservative or more aggressive. It all depends on the situation. At duos, it's a lot more action. Squads, it's a lot more patient and tactical fights.
All right, so final question, and I am going to upset you by not giving you any time to contextualize it either. First person or third person?
My preference, third.
All right, good enough. I'll let you get back to your game. I know a lot of these players are trying to get back into the server. They're all pumped up and ready to go. So I'm going to toss it back to Pansy and Sims while we get into the first game.
Thank you very much, Karen. Okay.